So today, so this week, good morning, Elizabeth. Yesterday in my in my private Facebook community, Women Who Manifest Miracles, I put up a poll. Let me turn this off to see. And I put up a poll asking people what they were struggling with the most. And we had everyone kind of take a vote. And so what came up was procrastination and time management. So it was almost a tie between procrastination and time management and confidence. Okay, so if you can relate to struggling with procrastination and time management, please type yes in the comments. Hi, baby. Hi, William. Hi, Carol. Hi, everyone. Oh, I love all the hearts coming on in Instagram. Don't forget to give me hearts here in Facebook. You know I love my hearts and I'm not afraid to ask for them. So if you struggle with procrastination and time management, give me a thumbs up or say yes in the comments so that I know. Let's see if we can get the lighting a little bit better. Nobody on Instagram on Facebook has any problems with procrastination. You guys are all good. Okay, I'm seeing the yeses come through. Good, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I didn't prepare anything because, like I said, we just took the poll last night and all the way through today. Yes, thank you for saying yes on Instagram. I didn't prepare anything. However, I'm really familiar with this topic. So I have two really good tips that I'm going to share for you that's really going to change how procrastination and time management shows up in your life. So you want to stay tuned for this. Okay. So those of you who said yes, tell me, what is your biggest struggle around procrastination, around time management? Do you feel like you don't have enough time to get everything done that you want to get done? Or do you feel like B, you always put off what it is that you want? Okay, so A, there's a lot that you want to do and you feel like you just don't have time to get it done. Or is it B, you never actually get around to the important task or the important goal that you have? So the Christianison, Instagram has tricky names. You said you have tons of time. So what is it around procrastination that you're struggling with? Okay, so on Facebook, I see A and B. So Liz, you're dealing with, there's so much that you want to do and you don't have enough time for it. And Rena, you're saying that you never get to that important task. Okay, very good, very good. I've got something that's going to help both of you. So before we get into that, I just want to remind you that I'm here on Facebook Live and on Instagram Live. I'm still in live. That's okay. That challenge, stick with it. Those of you who are doing the 30-day challenge with me, good. You're supposed to still be on that challenge. This is going to help some of you because a lot of times people who have problems with procrastination also have a problem completing what they started. Is that you? Do you have a problem with finishing what you start? If so, say yes so that I know, because we can touch on that too. So I just want to remind you again, while you guys are typing in the comments, that I'm here every Saturday, Facebook Live and Instagram Live at 10:30 Eastern. And I am super fired up because, like I said, I just came back from 4 days surrounded by 800 amazing entrepreneurs, mostly women, but also some amazing men. Who are trying to make a difference in the world, right? We're part of a heart-centered community, meaning we pursue our goals and our businesses, not just for the sake of wealth and financial freedom, although that's part of it, but because we are coming from our hearts. So whatever we're doing in the work that we do is heart-based, right? And so that's why I'm a coach and have been a coach for so long, is because I love to help people have breakthroughs. like I have so many times in my life. Hi, Bree, good morning. So right before we get into this, Bree, can you add in the comments what it is you struggle with the most around procrastination and time management? Is it A, you have so much that you want to do that you never have the time to get it all done? Or is it B, you never seem to be able to accomplish the one important thing that you want? So something that you either keep putting off or just not finishing. So let me know, and then we'll get right in. And cheers, I'm going to take a sip. I'm not going to tell you what I'm drinking. Who can guess? It changes every week. Or not every week, but B. Okay, so 2 B's. So that's super important, right? Because that means that you have something that's really important to you, of value to you, that you have still not been able to accomplish. And I'm sure, how does that make you feel? I'm sure that doesn't make you feel great. If you have a dream or a specific goal that you've been trying to accomplish and you just never seem to reach it, then I'm sure that can feel defeating. So we're going to talk about that today. But I want to start with the first one, okay? So for those of you who feel like, sorry, Instagram, hang in with me for a second. I almost lost my Instagrammers. Somebody guessed green tea. That's not it today. Anyway, for those of you who feel like there is so much that you want to do and you never can fit it all in, this is very common. This is something that I've struggled with in the past, and that if I don't pay close attention and I don't stick to the systems that I've set up for myself, then I can fall into that as well. Okay, so this is very common. So what that means, number one, is you're putting too much stuff on your list. Okay, who has a long to-do list every day that never gets fully completed? There's only so many hours in the day, right? And there's only so much that we can do. So my number one tip for you is cut your to-do list down to 3 items each day. No more than 3. 3 is the absolute max. And I'll tell you why. Number one, just like we said, you never have enough time to get it all done, right? So the longer your list, the more stressed you're making yourself, the more frantic you're going to feel, and the more likely it is that those things that you do are only going to get done half-ass. You can't give 100% to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things in a day. It's just not possible. And believe me, I've tried. So you want to have 3 things each day. And that's it. Don't worry about the other things. They will get done. Okay? Everything is not meant to be done at once. So how do you choose your 3 things? Well, number one, you want to put the most important item first. Meaning you do that right away in the morning before you do anything else. Your urgent stuff goes after your important stuff. Now listen to that. I'm going to type in the comments, important over urgent. Okay? You guys with me? So what are some urgent things? Oh, I got to check my email. Let me reply to that text message. Oh, let me see real quick. I'm just going to be super quick on Facebook or Instagram. I just got to go through and make a couple comments. Those are urgent things, right? I got to post on social media. They feel urgent because they feel like they're time sensitive, but they're not important. How do you know what's important? Because it supports whatever it is your big goal is. Okay, let me give you an example. For those of you right now who are in my private group, who are doing the 30-day Manifest Miracles Challenge, right now, that's the commitment that you made. So that falls under important. It's not urgent, right? Nothing's going to happen if you don't hurry up and get it done, but it's important because it supports a commitment that you made. And it also supports a big vision for your life that you're working on. So that's why you put something like that first thing in the morning before you do anything else. Because if you don't, all those little urgent things are going to start taking over, right? So you're going to start out checking your email and checking your Facebook and what other time wasters you might have. I can't think of any right now because I've gotten good at not doing this. Maybe searching the web. So maybe you say, I'm doing research for something I'm interested in. And so you make that urgent. Oh, I got to find more information. So you've got to be really clear and honest with yourself about what's important and what's urgent. Okay. So you do the important things, leave the urgent stuff for later, because you know why? If it's urgent, it's going to get done. So I have a rule. I do not check my email until I am later in the morning after I've gotten my important things done. Okay, so for me, what's important? I get up in the morning and I do my 15 minutes of yoga and stretching and breathing and all of that. That kind of just sets my mind and my body for the day. I get focused. I do my journaling and whatever else I have set as important for the day comes after those things, because it's super important. It's of the utmost importance for me to start my day centered, right? And setting my intention. It's super important for me to start my day with a little bit of meditation or prayer or journaling, because if I don't do it in the morning, my day is going to get busy and I might not get to it at night because I have a husband and I have a daughter and I get tired, right? So it's easy to put our important things off to last and we never get to them. Okay, so if you're someone whose goal is to lose weight, that's an important goal. It's not urgent. It's not going to feel urgent in your mind, right? Because you're like, oh, if I don't get up and go to the gym now, I can go later, right? So you start doing those urgent things first. And we come up with all kinds of things that we tell ourselves are urgent, right? And so we start doing them, and then guess what happens? You never get to the gym that day, right? You push it off till later. So if weight loss is your goal, that's the first thing you do. If you can do it before work, even better. Okay? So kind of work is more urgent than it is important, right? Because it's urgent that you get to work or your boss is going to be upset. Put your important thing before your urgent thing. Okay? So that's my tip for if you feel like you can't get everything done. Of course you can't get everything done. Stop trying to do it. That's just a form of resistance. Okay? And I have a book that I'm going to recommend that you all read, which is really, really good at cutting to the point here. So you'll hear me quote this book a lot. You'll hear me take some tips from there. Actually, I think urgent and important comes from this book. The book is The War of Art by James Pressfield. Anybody heard of James Pressfield and the book, The War of Art? Get it. Okay. Hey, Facebook, you out there? Let me see. Let me get some likes. Let me get some hearts. I want to see that you guys are engaged. Does this piece make sense to you? For those of you who said you can't get everything done, that you feel like you don't have enough time. Does that make sense to you? Good, great. So The War of Art, it's super easy to read. I even have it on audio. It's quick. He's a great writer. It's like an easy, quick read, and you'll get even more information about this. And what he talks about in this book is that procrastination comes down to resistance. Resistance with a capital R. We're basically resisting what it is that we know we need to do, right? And resistance comes at us all the time. But what I love that Stephen Pressfield says is that resistance is always lying and full of shit, which means don't believe it. Stop getting pulled into the fact that you need to do this or you need to do that. I catch myself all the time like, okay, I just wasted 15 minutes doing this when I know that what I really need to be doing is writing up my email that's going to go out to my list, because that's important. That's part of my big vision. I'm resisting it. Why am I resisting it? Because, it's going to require me to go deep. It's going to require me to think. And right now I'm kind of being lazy. Boom. Recognize it, snap out of it, and get back to what's important. All those urgent little things, they'll get done because they have to get done, right? Because eventually you have to answer your emails, or eventually you have to get to work and all of that. So those things will always be there, okay? Get to what's important in your life. Get to what it is that you've been wanting to do but keep putting off. Bree says, smart. I always have a long to-do list. Yes, exactly. So women, we get so caught up in being busy, and we equate that to, being accomplished or being effective, and they don't go hand in hand. Okay. So forget about working hard and constantly having something to do. That's not working smart. If you're still struggling with getting the things that are important done in your life, then obviously you're doing it the wrong way. So be open to doing it a different way. And what has worked for me and what has worked for so many people that I know is minimizing that to-do list, focusing on what's important over what is urgent. Okay? Cheers on that. Let me know that you're with me. Instagram, what happened to all my hearts? You were giving me so many before. Okay. So, for those of you who picked B, who picked B? Let me see. Okay, good. Bree, Rena, awesome. You're with me. So B is about not having been able to accomplish what it is that you want. Can you share with me, Rena and Bree, quickly, if you will? And those of you on Instagram who, I'm sorry, it's hard to keep up with Instagram. Those of you who chose B and said that you haven't been able to accomplish that one thing that you want, do you mind sharing even just broadly what that is? Share that in the comments. Anybody? No? Okay, so this comes down again to resistance. All right? So if you feel like you're really clear on what you want, I know, Rena, you're building a business, right? You're shifting, I believe you're shifting to a new career. So if you're clear, because that's number one, you've got to be clear about what you want. So a lot of times people are really wishy-washy about their goals, and so they get wishy-washy results. So you first got to be clear, and that takes a lot of work, a lot of personal development work, a lot of time sitting in silence, a lot of journaling. But once you know for sure what it is you want, you need to be all in. Okay, you can't have a little toe in there and just trying to be testing it out. Oh, sorry, Rena. I'll repeat the question. So for those of you who haven't reached the big goal that you have, or feel like, you set a goal for yourself but aren't able to reach it, I was asking that you just share with me, Mexico's in the house. Thank you. Share with me what it is that you've been wanting to achieve that you haven't been able to, or that keeps eluding you. And so let me just back up a little bit. So like I said, if you're wishy-washy about that, then it's never going to happen. You're always going to come up with busy work. You're always going to come up with something to distract you. You've got to be all in. So this week I went to the Zone event, which is hosted by my business coach and mentor, Shanda Sumter. And she has a big community called Heartcore Community. And I went there already with the decision before anything was presented to me, before, they talked about different programs. I knew that would be part of it. I went there with the decision that I'm all in, because I believe in the community. I believe in my coach. I have a big vision for myself, and I'm not going to try to figure it out all on my own. Community is key. You've got to be surrounded by people who have, thank you, I liked my nail color. You've got to be surrounded by people who are going where you're going or who are already there. That's a fact, okay? That's part of the law of attraction. Birds of a feather flock together. Don't be hanging out over here with this group and trying to get over here where these people are. It ain't going to happen, okay? So I went and I was all in. Okay, so as soon as I sat down, I talked to one of the coaches and I said, I'm in for everything. You don't have to sell me because I'm here. I've already sold myself. Sign me up for leadership. Sign me up for endurance. I'm all in. When you are committed 100% to your dream, your goal, your vision, then everything falls into place. So number one, oh, I missed something on here. Number one, you've got to make sure you're all in, not halfway in. I have my master's. I want to get another certification to further myself in my job, but I hesitate. I would love to be, but that's my goal. I haven't made it a priority. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Haley. Do you need that certification to further yourself in your job? And I only ask this because Stephen Pressfield talks about hesitation and resistance and procrastination a lot of times comes up in the form of, I need more education. I need to get another certification. I need to do this. A lot of times, I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just asking, right? A lot of times that's a way of procrastinating. So people step back and try to learn more and get more information instead of moving forward and doing what it is that they really want to do because they hide behind that. So just make sure, number one, that that's something you actually need, right? So for me, I wanted to create a business. I wanted to do this, that, and the other, but I didn't stop myself and say, I got to go back and get a business degree because all that was going to do was take up so many years of my life not actually doing it, right? So I can't tell you how many super successful, the most successful entrepreneurs that I know who have never gone to business school. Some have never even gone to college, okay? So the point is, stop holding yourself back. Don't procrastinate. And if that is a certification that you need, Haley, then ask yourself, why are you holding out? Okay, let me get over here. Bree said, I think I'm scared, fear of failure. I'm not sure what you wrote, Liz. It kind of all came together. Okay, fear of failure, sure. Who doesn't have fear of failure? The key is you've got to do things when you're afraid. Okay, Bree? If you're waiting to not be afraid, then you're never going to do it. Almost everything I do, I have a little fear behind it. And another thing I want to point out is a lot of times we confuse excitement with fear, okay? You might not actually be afraid. Those flutters and that nervousness and that anxiousness that you feel, that's excitement. That's a sign that the thing that you think you're afraid of, you're really excited about. Okay. So as an athlete, whenever I was going in a competition, I always felt like that. I always got that, and then as soon as I started, it went away. As soon as I got on the field, as soon as I started, whatever it was, a race or whatever competition I was in, or stepped on the stage when I was doing bikini bodybuilding, whatever it was, as soon as I got going, that fear went away. And what I learned is it's not fear, it's excitement. And if you don't feel that about something that you want to do, then it's probably not something that means that much to you, right? Because if it doesn't mean something to you, you're not going to get nervous. You're not going to get excited. Because if you have that feeling, that's telling you you're in the right direction. Okay. So you've got to do things afraid. So if you answered that there's something you've been wanting to achieve, but that you just haven't seemed to be able to do it, then read this book, The Art of War, Stephen Pressfield, The Art of War. It will really, really open up your mind because you're creating resistance. You're creating resistance. Okay. And you got to realize when resistance is there, just acknowledge it. Okay, this is me wasting time because I'm being resistant. I'm allowing resistance to come in and take my mind off of what's important because I'm afraid, or because I failed in the past, or because I'm afraid of what people will think of me, whatever it is. And then just step back and say, okay, there it is. Now I'm going to do it anyway. Because what people don't realize is when you see somebody successful, or when you see someone who's achieved what you want, you forget that they also have resistance every day, and that they also have fears every day. The difference between someone like myself who constantly goes for my goals or achieves my goals, I've become really good at this. I haven't always been, but I've become really good at this. The difference is we do it anyway. You got to put yourself out there. Okay. Okay, it's a typo. Is that I think I need to be a bigger expert. Oh my God. Rena, that is one. Okay, this is good. Rena says, what holds me back is that I think I need to be a bigger expert than what I am now. That holds so many people back, right? This is what I talked about with people who need to get a ton of education and go back to school and get another this and get another that. They don't feel worthy. You hide behind, you don't feel worthy to teach it unless you know more and more and more and more. But the truth is you're just resisting. Okay? Procrastination is resistance. Rena, to help someone in whatever area it is that you want to help them in, you only need to know a little bit more than they know. Okay? You might not be able to teach whatever it is to somebody in your field who is more advanced and knows more, but you certainly can teach it to somebody who doesn't know anything about what you know. Okay? You don't have to wait to know more. There's always going to be more to know. Okay? You've got to believe in what you do know, right? So experts become experts with practice. And I got to tell you something. I've got a lot of education. What I've learned in college, or what I've learned in the certifications I've taken, pale in comparison to what I've learned by just getting out there and doing it, working with people, putting into practice whatever it is that I want to do. Okay? That's one thing that people, I think, have backwards. Okay? You got to remember, education is a business too. So people are making money off of you going to school, and that's fine. But you've got to remember that's a business. That's a business model that's really well marketed. So if there's something you want to do, just start. Just start. Okay? So keep your to-do list to 3 things or less. Do what's important before you do what is urgent. And be all in. If you have a history of not being able to achieve that big goal or that big vision you set for yourself, it's because you're not all in. Okay? I'm 100% all in. So when resistance comes up, and it always comes up for me, and when fear comes up or when insecurity comes up, I recognize it and then I move forward anyway. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. For those of you who are interested in learning how to manifest the things that you want in your life, I am a master manifester. I know how to attract into my life what I want. If you want to learn how to do that, you can join our private Facebook group. And if you want to join the private Facebook group, I'm going to type it here, join private Facebook group. Women who manifest, by typing in comments, add me to the group, okay? And then I'll go through and add you. Those of you who are watching this